Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. And inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers in Power League right now. If you guys, of course, have been playing the game, you would realize that Power League rotation has changed a lot. So many changes and so many crazy maps. Also, the meta's just shifted on its head as well. There's a lot to really dive into. So let me know it down in the comment section below whether you want me to do a Power League guide going through every single map in the next few days. I'm unaware whether you guys play Power League too much right now because of win streaks. But anyways, we're going to be diving into the best 10 brawlers in the game. These brawlers have helped me so much to get towards the get me that masters and get me towards the top 20. So first and foremost, the number one brawler pretty much in the game and definitely in Power League, it has to be Bo for me. And the reason why I should definitely max him out as well is people aren't still respecting how strong he is. He often avoids the ban period because people don't think he's a toxic brawler, but at the same time, our win rate with him must be near 100%. He's absolutely insane. So if you're unaware what changed with him, he received a 20% damage buff, and it just made him delete everybody, literally, even snipers. Like, the thing is with snipers, even though they outrange him, all you need to do is juke a few shots, get into their range, and you can like one clip so many snipers. It's absolutely insane. Again, the best thing about Bo, in my opinion, has to be his versatility. You take a look at every single game mode and pretty much every map, you could argue going Bo because he has really good versatility with his mines being able to break open the map, and just his range and his HP just allows him to be good pretty much everywhere, probably out except for maybe shooting star, but then again, he can still be used there. So for me, he has to be the best brawler in Power League right now. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in Power League. We have the same as last time. We have Spike. So Spike, ever since hypercharge came out, has started to become this S-tier brawler. He's just solid into everything. You can pretty much never go wrong with going Spike on every single map and pretty much every mode except for knockout and bounty. The reason being is because that hypercharge is eventually going to get charged up. It's so easily to cycle Spike supers, especially with the mythic gear right now. Even after the nerf, you just catch someone in that super and you could just spam, 2-3 attacks, take them down quickly, cycle to your next super, and before you know it, you've got your hypercharge, which of course you guys know how strong hypercharge is right now. Just a click of a purple button can literally score your goal in Brawl, turn around a game in gem grab, for example. So Spike, super versatile. You probably should have him maxed out by now. Okay, so jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out within this meta. I've gone for Colt. So I think Colt is one brawler that is definitely under the radar right now. Another brawler that received a buff, which definitely helped him a lot. I'm playing Colt pretty much everywhere, and I'm a terrible Colt, and it still seems to be working out. So surely this brawler is a lot stronger than people realize. So the change for Colt is that he received a reload speed buff. With the reload gear, it only takes him 1.2 seconds to fully, of course, reload one ammo, which is just absolutely insane. Basically, you can shoot infinitely down your lane, and eventually you got to hit some shots, right? Unless you're literally shooting completely the opposite way, which sometimes I do. But with Colt, pretty easy. Again, super versatile brawler, which I'm using pretty much everywhere. Of course, Brawl, pretty good to open up walls and score goals. Gem grab, he can be a decent lane. Probably would stay away from that a little bit more. But of course, insane in heist, really strong in hot zone as well. And there is some use case in bounty as well, which I've been, if there's other brawlers taken up, you can easily go Colt as long as you're not going into like Piper and Nanny. He's pretty strong. So for me, very underrated brawler, and he's got to be one of the best brawlers in the game, in my opinion. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in this meta. It's still 8-bit as well. The meta is, if anything, has just helped him even more. With the damage booster star power, he's able to shred through everybody. And especially on some of these maps, he's just able to be a lot more defensive and also just pair up well with other sharpshooters. Backyard Bowl is back in the Brawl rotation. He's literally the best brawler there because he can assist the mid with that booster so easily. And for example, if you get like a Piper and Nanny on your team, you're literally going to be one-shotting every single brawler on the map. So that's just one thing to consider as well. Of course, heist is really insane with bridge too far back. Hot zone, pretty strong. Gem grab, really good as well. He's just so strong across the board right now. You can never go wrong with going 8-bit. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in Power League right now. I went with Edgar. So I was a little bit hesitant to put Edgar in here because I feel like the nerf might have actually affected him more than I realized. But for now, I'd recommend maxing him out just because of how strong his hypercharge is. And at the lower levels anyway, until you reach up to legendary, I still feel like Edgar's hypercharge is just so brainless that you'll be able to get team wipes over and over again. Of course, you've got to be careful with drafting Edgar because there are some glaring counters, like Maisy, for example, who's just running all over the meta at the moment. So if there's no Maisy or Maisy's banned, feel free to go Edgar. Should be able to get a lot of value. Of course, again, the hypercharge is just so broken that you're able to get team wipes so easily with him. But the thing is, you got to be a little bit more careful because it does take, I think, 4 supers to get that hypercharge now in comparison to 2.5 that it used to take in the past. Also, he's pretty strong everywhere. He's really good in hot zone. That's probably his best game mode. Really good in Brawl on some maps like triple dribble, for example, countering those throwers. Also really good in heist as well, dealing so much damage to the safe. So there's a lot of use case for Edgar right now. I definitely recommend maxing him out. Okay, so jumping into the next brawler, I think you need to max out within Power League. I think it has to be Dynamike. So even though he actually hasn't got a lot of maps that he's good on in his Power League rotation, you know, in the past he had like field goal and some really cheesy maps. But there are quite a few, I'd say like 4 or 5 in particular, that if you don't consider those thrower last picks, you know, brawler like Dynamike with his new hypercharge is just absolutely insane. Of course, he's got the hypercharge one, which is just absolutely insane, so strong. And with Dynamike, you're able to cycle it so quickly, and then once you get the hypercharge super, you're able to one-shot so many brawlers and then cycle another one and just get team wipes pretty quickly. So I feel like you always got to consider Dynamike in the draft. Even again, if it's some crazy map like Backyard Bowl, still, if the matchup favors him, you know, he could take the place of what Sprout used to be, because hypercharge is no joke in this meta. So jumping into the next brawler, must absolutely max out. I went with Charlie. So you might be wondering, well, Charlie got heavily nerfed, and I still think she's a really strong brawler. I did put her in my top 10, maybe a little bit optimistic on a top 10 ranking, but at the same time, I think she's easily an A-tier brawler right now, and people aren't really banning her so much from what I've experienced. And then whenever I pick her, she has a pretty good win rate, because still her spider gadgets is just like Tara pets, but a little bit better at tanking. And then of course the super is just one of the best supers in the game still. And then with just so many aggro picks right now, her super is the best shutdown and best counter to those brawlers. I mean, she's the best counter to also to Fang, so if Fang somehow escapes the ban period, you can just go Charlie every time, and it's pretty much an automatic win, because Fang can't do anything into a Charlie, literally nothing. And again, you take a look at all the maps, you can pretty much go Charlie everywhere. I've seen her use everywhere, even on shooting star, because she actually has some decent range to her. So for me, I still think it's very valuable, very worthwhile in maxing her out. Okay, so jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in this meta. Top 3 brawler in the game right now. I went with Maisy. So Maisy, for some reason, never gets banned in my games, but every single time she's being played, she just team wipes so easily. She's so strong in this meta, and people have been saying for the longest time that she's underrated. She had some use case in previous meta, but don't get me wrong, it's 1,000,000% the hypercharge. That is the reason why she's so strong, because you're able to just put out so much damage with the speed boost as well. You can just run down people, cycle 2 or maybe 3 supers in a row, which is just crazy for team wipes. Of course, she's insane on Brawl, really good in gem grab. She's insane on hot zone as well. I think except for the longer range maps and game modes, she's just wild, absolutely wild. You can never go wrong with a Maisy. As long as you've got the wiggles and got some good timing with the gadget and super, you're pretty much good into every single matchup. So jumping into the next brawler, you must absolutely max out in this Power League meta. It has to be Mandy. So you might be wondering, well, Nanny, Piper, they're the better sharpshooters. Yeah, they are definitely. But for me, I think they're banned out more often than not. So this is where Mandy comes in clutch, because she's the next best alternative, never really banned too much, and knockout and bounty, she just is so strong into everything. There's hardly any hard counters out there, except for maybe like a Mortis in bounty and knockout, but you do need some good skill to play that brawler. So I don't really see Mortis too much into me when I play Mandy, but at the same time, you do have to be hitting those supers consistently, because those supers can be literally the turning point. If you miss your super, you're probably going to end up losing the game, and then if you're hitting your super, you're probably going to win that round, right, in knockouts. So you've got to be making sure you hit those Mandy supers, but a lot of the time I think Mandy is just such a safe pick that it can never go wrong. So jumping into the final brawler, you must max out in this Power League season. I went with Sandy. So I think the maps definitely favor him a lot more this time around. I think maps like Triple Dribble, Winter Party, there's a lot of grassy maps with a lot of walls where Sandy can definitely prevail. I think he's probably a little bit worse off in terms of the overall meta, just because of brawlers like Fang, Edgar starting to creep in a little bit, but still, I'm seeing him a lot. And again, he's this brawler that's never banned, even though he pretty much gets value into every single matchup. You're able to get your super so frequently and cycle with ease. Again, hot zone, gem grab, Brawl are going to be the 3 game modes that you do play him in, because you can't really play him elsewhere. And pretty much looking into all the meta brawlers, there's not really one brawler I would say completely hard counters them, so pretty safe overall. Let me know down in the comment section below who you think are the best 10 brawlers in Power League right now. Of course, this may differ where you are in terms of your ranking. Let me know whether like some of the top brawlers in the meta don't get banned whatsoever. I'll be interested to see, because of course if none of the brawlers I put in my top 10 video a few days ago get banned, then you may as well max them out as well. But that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.